Hey guys, coming at you here with the third key to success, which is dropping down effectively, working with customers and making deals. And when I think about uh, the appropriate way to drop down, and when I think about what it means to close, it's really not something you're doing to a customer, but something you're doing with and for a customer. See, anything at the end of the presentation other than no, I hate Cutco, it gives us an opportunity to kind of work with the client. And if somebody says I hate Cutco, which you may hear one out of every 100 appointments that you do, right? And what am I going to say? Cuts too well, saves me too much money, saves me too much time in the kitchen. I actually had a customer one time tell me that they don't like things that last forever. I thought that was kind of humorous and funny, and secretly inside, I'm like, man, good luck with the marriage if you don't want anything to last forever. But in their mind, sometimes they're just trying to give you a hard time. But anything other than that, anything other than I hate Cutco, and if they say that at the end, all you say no big deal. How'd you like my presentation? Well, we'll go ahead and grab out your cell phone because one more really important part here is you can really help me out. And that's where you go in straight into recommendations, right? And that's anything other than that we can work with. And so when I think about dropping down, the biggest keys is going to be finding the why. Okay, if somebody says it's money, money tends to be kind of the catch-all. Throw it out there. Oh, I can't afford it. That tends to be what people go with, but it isn't necessarily always the reason. As I mentioned in the other key to it being an objective-driven demo, you got to make sure that's through a reason to eliminate the smoke screen. The thing that you ask if they say that is, hey, no big deal. If you could afford it, would you get it? And if they say yes, absolutely, say perfect. We have a lot of options for you. Okay. But if they say no, then you guys say, hey, just out of curiosity, is there anything else holding you back? And then they'll usually give you the real reason. Now, typically the reason for somebody not buying Cutco, if you're doing everything else right, meaning you did the presentation properly, you connected at the beginning, you've established credibility, you've identified the need and built value through the presentation using some of the tips and techniques I taught you earlier. Well, then the next step is going to be making sure that you drop down the right way. And it usually boils down to money or amount of items in it. So if they say, yeah, I would get it, it's just a little bit too much for my budget, then all you simply say is, no big deal. Well, is it primarily too much money or is it too many knives? And whatever they say, that becomes the perfect reason why it makes sense for customers to get a starter set. Okay? And when you're dropping down with a customer, you got to understand that as you drop down in price, your enthusiasm level needs to go up. And the reason for that is you're getting closer to what every single person can afford. And it is my belief as now an adult, and it was mine as a representative, that every single family, every single person working full time could afford a starter set if they wanted to. And the question that I would ask yourself is this: could they afford McDonald's for their family if they wanted to? Could they afford Wendy's for their family if they wanted to? And if the answer is yes, then they can afford a starter set. See, the thing I keep in mind with our starter sets is those are going to range anywhere between about $25 and $55 out of their weekly budget. Okay, if you think about how much it costs a family of four to go to Wendy's or Chick-fil-A or Taco Bell even. I mean, most families aren't shopping at those fast food joints like a college kid does. See, a college kid, the way they eat at those restaurants is they literally scrape together some change, pull out a couple bills, and then they buy whatever they can afford with that. Most families, when they go to eat, they have kind of a preset meal that they typically order. Usually it's a couple of Happy Meals for the kids. They'll get themselves their typical value option or combo that they buy for themselves, and then they eat together. So typically for a family to go out and eat fast food, it's going to be around $25 or so for them to go eat there. Okay, so if you think about that, there's a lot of options that fall in that $100 a month range for our customers. It could be a customized option where they're buying, 5 or 6 items, breaking it up over 5 months, getting the shears free. It could be them buying, 3 knives, breaking it up over 3 months. It could be, for most people, buying a starter set of some sort, like a basic studio, a kitchenette, Even like an all knife set kind of falls in that range of things that they could get for around $100 or so per month. So if they could afford fast food for their family, they could afford a starter set, but you got to believe it first. Okay. So if it is money, even all the better reason to drop down. If it's down on knives, well then what's cool about the starter sets is that we have basically 8 different versions that they can pick and choose from. Um, 10 different versions that they can kind of pick and choose from that have different combinations based on which items they're going to use. And if they don't get a starter set, well, then we can just as well drop down to customize options. But here's the kicker. You got to drop through starter sets in order to make the customized options and the piece combinations be effective. See, if you just jump immediately from the bigger sets down to pieces, it's too drastic of a jump for most customers to make a commitment. And so you're going to have a lot of people telling you things like, oh, if I'm going to get it, I'm just going to get everything. Because they don't want to not get a block. They don't want to not get a cutting board. They don't want to not get the shears, right? I mean, they want to get the combination. So make sure that you're dropping down slowly with each step so that you're effectively communicating the plan there. So whatever reason they don't buy one of the bigger sets, make that be the reason why it makes sense for them to get a starter set. So if it is money, when you lead into the starter sets, you want to say, hey, Ms. Jones, what I love about these starter sets is that they're great for building up over time and also gifts for family and friends. But the other reason why I love our starter sets is that they fit in everybody's budget. Let me show you how they look. Okay, and then you go through, and again, you go through, this is our galley set. This is the best set for people that love the homemaker, but it's a little bit too much for their budget. We have the Essentials +5 and the Studio +4. These are basic sets and smaller blocks, but still get the job done. This is our Space Saver set. It's great for small kitchens, boats, campers, RVs. We have our all knife and our kitchenette set, which is going to be designed to be in safe storage trays as an alternative to blocks. And then we also have our gourmet set, which is great for Cutco owners and those that cook with alternative cuisines. So out of all the starter sets, which one did you like the best? Okay, and if you notice, I kind of flip slowly back through to get to where the galley set is. So that way they can only go from here and down, and they're not having to flip like back towards the front. And you certainly don't want them flipping past that to the individuals. But you go into finding the set combination that's most effective for them, and then go over the price of that one individually. Don't try to rattle off all the prices as you're going through the starter sets. You'll overwhelm a customer, confuse them, and a confused mind says no. Okay, so go down slowly. If they then don't say that, and they say it's still a little bit too much, be like, all right, Ms. Jones, what I love about our customizing options is that we can actually pick and choose and get you the exact knives you use the most, and we'll still get you a killer deal and save you a lot of money today. So out of these tools, which 5 would you see yourself using the most? Okay, so go slowly during that process and use whatever reason they give you to be the reason why it makes sense for them to get that set. If they say there's too many knives, when you go to the starter set, you do the exact same thing. Ms. Jones, these are our starter sets. They're great for building up over time and gifts for family and friends. And one of the things I love about our starter sets is we take out the knives you're going to use the least and only get you the knives you're going to use the most and save you some money in the process. Let me show you how those work. It's our galley set. And so you're still doing the same drop down, but it's just that one little tweak goes into there. Okay. Then same thing, if that doesn't work, then when you drop down to the starter sets, or to the individual pieces, you're dropping down with confidence. Like, hey, no big deal. Well, let me show you our individual customizing options. This way, we can only get you the knives you know you'd use. So, which of these 5 knives would you see yourself using the most? Okay, so so dropping down slowly. Okay, don't go immediately from the big sets to, hey, do you want to get anything today? It's showing, hey, no big deal. Using whatever it is that they tell you. If they only say no, oh, I'm not going to do that. They just say, no big deal. Is it primarily too much money or is it too many knives? And then you drop down into the starter set and make that be the reason why you're picking that. And whatever their reason is for not getting one of the bigger sets, it's probably going to be the same reason for not getting a starter set. So you don't need to keep asking, is it primarily too many knives, too much money? You just drop down to the individual customizing options with that same objection being there for you. Okay. Then the next couple techniques I'm going to give you are making deals and utilizing the office for help. Okay. Let's start with making the deals. So the way that you can work out deals with customers, this is pretty slick. You want to write this down. You take whatever they buy, divide it by 5, and that's about what you can give them in free stuff for placing the order. So for example, somebody buys $500 worth of stuff, you can give them about $100 worth of free Cutco. Okay. Your managers can authorize a little bit more, but just know that you have that at your disposal to help close the deal. So if you've got somebody that's right on the fence, you're like, I really like it. I'm not real sure. It's like, I tell you what, if I can hook you up with a little extra free stuff, would you do it today? A lot of times they're like, oh, well, maybe, what can you do? Right. And so you just take whatever they're buying, divide by 5, and that's what you can give them in free stuff. Now, keep in mind, the shears do count. Okay. So for our starter sets, they're already got the built-in, you're already hooking them up with the shears. So you're probably not going to be able to give them much more, but if anything, but you do have that at your disposal. So for example, if somebody picks something that's $1,000, you would be able to give them up to $200 worth of free stuff if you needed to close the deal. Okay. Or if you know that the shears just aren't doing it for them, or maybe that you can tell the husband loves to hunt or fish. It's like, Miss Jones, I'll tell you what I'll do. If you get this Studio Plus 4 set today, instead of giving you the shears for free, which I know you like, but you won't probably use as much, I'll actually give you, Mr. Jones, this Fisherman Solution, which I know you like to fish. I'll give you this for free instead. How does that sound? And a lot of times by giving them something that they're more excited about that still falls within that buy divided by 5 framework, you get the customer to make the decision to go ahead and do it today. Let me give you another cool deal that you can use. It's called the trade-in. And the way the trade-in works is for those customers that like the product, but the money is really the issue. Instead of giving them the shears for free, have them trade in their free stuff to get a little bit lower pricing. And the way that you do that is you take any set that a customer purchases and the set that has the table knives, sell it to them for the set without the table knives, and then give them the table knives free instead of giving them the shears for free. So for example, instead of selling them a galley plus 6 and giving them the shears for free, sell them the basic galley, give them the 6 table knives for free. And by doing that, you'll actually save them about over $200 on the price of that galley plus 6 set, and help them to make a sale where otherwise you may have had a no sale. Because here's the kicker, guys. If somebody doesn't buy today, they don't get the shears for free if they buy next week. So instead of losing the sale, once you find the set they like, if money is the issue, instead of giving them the shears for free, have them trade in the shears, trade in their free stuff, and give them the table knives for free to lower the price. What's awesome about this, guys, is no matter what set combination they end up getting, they're going to save at least $100 on their set today. So no matter what set, whether it be the Studio, the Essentials, the Galley, the Homemaker, in any situation, they're going to save over $100. In fact, with the Homemaker set, it ends up being close to $300. They actually save on the price by getting it as a set versus getting nothing today and then coming back and buying it next week. So again, if you find a set they like, so for example, let's say you get to the end and they're like, oh, the Homemaker is the one I want, get the Homemaker nothing. It's like, I tell you what, we have something right now called our trade-in special. And what I love about the trade-in special is it allows us to give you a great deal for getting it today. And so instead of buying the Homemaker plus 8 and getting the shears for free, which I know you said was a little bit too much for you, what we do is we'll have you get that entire Homemaker plus 8 set, and instead of that set coming in to let's see, what is it? That ends up being, instead of that being $13.26, we can actually get you the entire set for only $10.49. And so what's cool is if you were to buy all the pieces in the Homemaker individually, Homemaker plus 8, it would be $15.40 for all the stuff individually. We can actually get it to you for only $10.49. So it saves you almost $500 by getting it at this trade-in price versus buying things individually. So you're saving almost $500 versus open stock price. We'll break it up for you over 5 months, interest-free. So it only end up being like I don't know, like $54 or so out of your weekly budget. How's that sound? Okay. And ask with confidence, do the vector nod and ask with that. And what's cool is you could do that with any of our sets that we have to offer. So you sell the set without the table knives, give them the table knives for free instead of giving them the shears for free. And it's going to save them between $100 and $300. If you do it with a signature, it's even more. But you'll save the customer a lot of money using the trade-in. The third key to dropping down, guys, is use your office manager for success. They are there to help you. When you call in to check in with the presentation with your customers, it's you with the customer working with your manager, not you against the manager, not your customer against you and your manager, not your customer against just your manager, right? It is you working together to get something the customers want for a good deal, okay? And that's what closing is. It's helping somebody make a comfortable decision to get something that they want today, okay? So when you check in with the customer, or you check in when you're with a customer, call with your customer and just simply say, hey, Miss Jones, or hey, Trey, or hey, manager, I'm sitting here with my client, Miss Jones. She's super nice. Here's what she likes. She says the price is a little bit much for her. Is there anything we can do to help her out? Or maybe it's you want to hook her up with some more free stuff. Hey, I'm with a customer. We're giving her this for free. If she buys the homemaker set, is there anything else that we can hook her up with for free to help her make the decision today? Okay, cool. And so you can get your manager on the phone to work with you and the customer to come up with a comfortable decision to get something they want today. And so, when you call and you get the deal from your manager, it's important that you're excited about the deal. Don't just get the deal and be like, oh, okay, I'll see if they want to do that. And never, 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 ever, guys, call in when you're with a customer and say, hey, they're not getting anything today, but here's what they like. See, because all you're doing is you're putting the customer and the manager now at odds with each other. Because if the manager tries to force the sale, tries to help the customer out, you've already told them they don't want to buy. So now they view the manager as this evil person trying to do something to them, right? And instead, you want to call and say, hey, I'm with a customer and here's what they like, but they're a little hesitant. Is there anything we can do for them? Right? And so then when the manager hooks them up with a good deal, you can get excited. Oh, Ms. Jones, I just found out some awesome news. If you go ahead and get this set today, here's what we can do for you. So you create urgency, you get excited, and you help to lock down that order when you're with the customer. And then never hang up when presenting the deal, guys. Just put the phone down so you present to the customers. That way your manager can hear what the customer reacts with. So that way we know what we need to do. If we need to work out some other arrangement, we can do that. If they're cool with it, we can start working out the math for you and help enter it in the order. But no matter what, stay on the phone with the manager until the customer has said, yep, we're doing it, or no, we're not getting anything today. But in either situation, don't hang up, because if there's something that needs to be addressed, you don't want to have to keep calling back the manager. The manager is there to help you with the customer. So just simply say, hey, you know what, let me run it by him. Hey, Ms. Jones, I'm with the manager. Here's what we can do for you. Boom, 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 boom. How's that sound? You want to go and do that? And then act with confidence. Use the vector nod. Act with enthusiasm. And if they say yes, boom, we'll hook them up. If they say no, well, now your manager can hear kind of what the customer said so they can work out another deal. Because here's the thing, what you don't want to do, guys, is leave the customer hanging on what could be a good deal because they're saying they're going to get it later. I would rather somebody say, hey, I'm definitely not getting anything today, than say, oh yeah, come back to me next week. I'll definitely buy it from you then. Because the truth is, guys, when something's out of sight, it's out of mind. When somebody's not there to see it, hold it, use it, ask questions, get answers, work out the math with people, they don't magically think of things in the future that they want to get. Okay, so work out the deal when you're with them right away, so that way you can do it. So, drop down slowly, using whatever reason they're not getting a bigger order be the reason why they should get a smaller order. Focus on trade-ins and deals with clients to help them get a decision today. And then as your last resort, in your best resort, use your office line, right? Call the office to work out a deal with your manager. It's like you're calling in the forces, right, to help you out, right? It's like you're going to bat for your customers to get them a great deal to help them have Cutco so they have it for the rest of their life.